Welcome students. Welcome to the class. The course you are studying is Animal Diversity 2 Biology of Chordates, and the instructor is Dr. Sneha, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, St. Joseph's College for Women, Visakhapatnam. Topic is Salient Features of Subphylum Urochordata. Contents include Introduction to Urochordata, Features of Urochordata, Larval and adult characters of urochordates, Retrogressive metamorphosis, and comparison between urochordates and cephalochordates. Learning outcomes are able to identify key anatomical features such as presence of a tunic or C-squirt covering, a pharynx with perforated slits and a nerve ganglion. You can describe the distinct larval form with a notochord, nerve cord and tail, contrasting it with the sessile adult form that undergoes retrogressive metamorphosis. Can able to explain the process where the adult urochordate loses its larval features, including the notochord and nerve cord, adapting to a sedentary lifestyle. He can analyze the evolutionary advantages and ecological significance of this metamorphosis. As we already studied that phylum Chordata is further divided into Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. In this class, you are studying about the salient features of subphylum Urochordata. Urochordates are commonly known as sea squirts, and this word Urochordata is derived from a Greek language word made by combination of two words, that is Euros means tail and chorda means cord. That means notochord is present in larval tail region only. That means in urochordates only larva are going to have notochord, but during metamorphosis process, when larva is changing itself into adult, it going to lose this notochord. Now the salient features of Urochordata. Urochordates are exclusively marine and cosmopolitan in nature, found in all seas and at all depths. They are mostly sessile, belongs to Acidiaceae class, or pelagic or free swimming forms like Larvaceae class. They are solitary, aggregated in groups, or might be colonial. The adults are mostly degenerated and unsegmented. The body is enveloped by flexible tunic or test. This is a very unique character what we can see in the kingdom Animalia, because this test or tunic, it contains cellulose, which is a plant material, and hence it named as tunicata. The free end of the body bears two openings, the mouth and the atriopore. Coelom is completely absent. Instead of the coelom, an ectoderm-lined atrial cavity is present, which opens outside through an aperture which is known as atrial aperture. The proximal part of the alimentary canal is greatly enlarged to form a very big spacious pharynx, which is adapted for filter feeding. Respiration performs by gaseous exchange across the tunic, or in some pharyngeal gill slits are also present. Blood vascular system is of open type. Heart is simple, tubular and ventrally located. Blood contains cells, but erythrocytes are absent. Excretion is performed by neural gland or pylori gland, and even nephrocytes are also present. The dorsal tubular nerve cord, as we already discussed, it is present only in larval stage, which is reduced to a single dorsal nerve ganglion in adults. They are mostly hermaphrodites and fertilization is cross and external and takes place in seawater. Asexual reproduction accomplishes by the formation of buds, that means by budding process. Development is indirect, which includes a free swimming tailed tadpole larva with basic and advanced chordate characters. The urochordates exhibit certain exceptions, that is what we're talking about, where larva is much more advanced than the adults, and this type of metamorphosis is known as retrogressive metamorphosis. As we can see here, that is what in the life history of urochordates, it's going to pass through very dramatic changes, where the larval period is much more complex comparing to the adult. So that's why this type of metamorphosis is named itself as retrogressive metamorphosis. The same thing we can see here as a diagrammatic form also. We can see this is the diagram which is indicating a free swimming larval stage, which is having all the fundamental chordate characteristics. That is what presence of notochord, nerve cord, and even the gill slits are present, including the post-anal tail. As we can clearly see in this diagram here, when this larva is started, the process of metamorphosis, we can see how this is losing all these characteristics. We can clearly see in this diagram, see how the notochord is basically shrinking, and as well as it's already lost the myotomes what are present in the tail region here, and ultimately it is transferred itself into a completely sessile adult which is lacking all these chordate characters. So this is what actually known as retrogressive metamorphosis. The larval characteristics, as we already discussed, that is what notochord is restricted at the caudal end, and dorsal hollow nerve cord is present from one end to another end. Pharyngeal gill slits are present, and a post-anal tail is also present. And this is the adult, what we are discussing here. The adult is basically completely sessile form. Could you see here? And the body is covered by this leathery covering, that is what known as tunic. And if you're going to see, we can clearly see in this diagram the presence of two openings here, that is what this is known as atrial aperture. On the other side, which is present towards the anterior end, this is known as branchial aperture. Now, in summary, we're going to discuss about or compare the salient features or characters between Urochordata and subphylum Cephalochordata. In Urochordates, these are commonly known as tunicates. On the other hand, these are known as lancelets. And Urochordates are closely resembles with echinoderms. On the other hand, Cephalochordates are closer to vertebrates. Here in the urochordates, the notochord only found in tail region of the larva only. On the other hand, in cephalochordates, the notochord extends from head to tail region, and that too present throughout the lifetime. And here if you're going to see the same thing I have mentioned here in these 2 points also. Now we'll come to the coelom. In urochordates, the coelom is completely absent. On the other hand, the cephalochordates, they have coelom. Here the urochordates, they have heart, but they have an open type of circulatory system. On the other hand, the cephalochordates, their circulatory system is closed, but here in case of cephalochordates, the heart is absent. So now in urochordates, the excretion is performed by nephrocytes. In cephalochordates, it is performed by protonephridia and solenocytes. In urochordates, they're going to exhibit larval stage. That means indirect type of development, and the larva are free swimming forms, but on the other hand, adults are completely sessile. But in cephalochordates, they don't have any larval form, but the adults are completely free swimming forms. They're free creatures actually. Here in Urochordates, they reproduce asexually also, plus through with the help of sexual reproduction. But in cephalochordates, they don't exhibit any case of asexual reproduction. They reproduces only with the help of sexual reproduction. Urochordates are hermaphrodites or bisexuals. On the other hand, we can see in cephalochordates, they are unisexual in nature. So this is the total summary. Now these are the various references cited for this topic. Thank you students for listening the class.